Hello everyone, welcome back. We are on day 21 and we get to do our lovely strength and flexibility flow today. So find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So let's begin today in child's pose. So if you want to come over onto your knees, bring your knees out nice and wide. Bring your chest down, your forehead down. Taking a moment here. A new week. A new day. A new practice. How is your body feeling today? How is your breath feeling today? What kind of thoughts are on your mind right now? What thoughts on your mind right now can maybe be set off to the side? Letting a deep breath in help you do that. Followed by a deep breath out. Do that again, a deep breath in and out. One more time, breathe in, fill up, and let it all go. When you're ready to lift and move, we can find our way into tabletop. Bring your knees in. Maybe give your hips a little sway side to side. Start to tuck your toes. Go for a very little hover of your knees. Turn on your quads. Turn on your entire body. Pull the belly button in. Push into your hands. Take another breath here. Inhale. As you exhale, release your knees down, relax for a moment. Flip to the tops of the feet if you want to. Another little hover of your knees when you're ready. Push the ground away. Relax your face. Take another inhale. Exhale to come back down. Relax your knees. Start to tuck your toes again. Lift up and into downward facing dog when you're ready. Maybe a pedal of the feet. Maybe a little sway of the hips. Let your head get a bit heavier. Your shoulders, how are they feeling today? Let's use a big inhale to look forwards. Exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift, long spine. Exhale, folding forwards, bend your knees. Inhale, another half lift, long spine. Exhale, bend your knees, bring your chest as close to your knees as you can get it. Inhale, another half lift, and then exhale to fold. Inhale. Let's come all the way up to standing this time. Reach up. Exhale, let your arms fall to your sides. Take a shoulder roll. Spread your fingers. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, another half lift. How long can you make your spine? Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, one more half lift. And exhale to fold. This time we're going to plant our hands and step all the way back and into downward facing dog. Pushing into your hands, sending your hips high. Stay for an inhale. As you exhale, our knees are going to come down into our tabletop again. All right, we're going to tuck our toes. Maybe we're going to hover our knees. And then maybe we'll keep our knees bent, or you could send your left leg out long, and then maybe the right one too, and maybe now you're in a plank, but same thing. Pull your belly button in, push into your hands. And if you did find a plank, bend your knees again. Come back into your floating tabletop. Tuck the toes, take another inhale, and then an exhale to relax. Nice, you guys. Flip to the top of your feet. Maybe a little sway of the hips. And then another hover of the knees from the tops of the feet. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe you're going to extend one leg on the top of the foot. Maybe you're going to do the other one too. Push into your hands, squeeze your belly, and then just come back gracefully into your floating tabletop on the tops of the feet, and then gently relax down. A little harder, a little trickier on the tops of the feet. Take your tabletop, take your hips for a sway in your tabletop, and then we'll just start to shift our shoulders forwards. Bend your elbows, lower down onto your belly, all the way into your cobra, your nice, lovely low cobra, where your hands might move out in front. Maybe your hands will move to your sides by your hips, fingers pointing behind you. A little lift of the chest, maybe a little shoulder roll. The feet can start to float. The hands can start to float. Maybe you're reaching forwards. Maybe your fingertips are pointing behind you. A moment to breathe. Find that subtle heat through your back. Squeeze your glutes. Try to lift your quads just a touch more. Look down or forwards just slightly. Awesome, you guys. Another inhale. And then an exhale to relax. Stack your palms. Maybe a gentle sway of your hips side to side. Notice the energy flowing throughout your body. And bringing your hands under your shoulders when you're ready. Push yourself back and into your tabletop. Maybe a little sway of your hips. Then we can cross our ankles. We can sit down. Leaning back. Fingers pointing behind you. Lifting the chest, lifting the chin, a little squeeze of the shoulder blades together. So notice your upper body can stay here. Notice your lower body. Your knees can stay bent. Your feet hip width apart, or you could find butterfly. If you want to get into your hips, you might have to move your hands a little. Still leaning back a touch, still lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and maybe gazing up. Nice job, you guys. If you did find butterfly, you might bring your knees back together first and then leaning forwards. Give your knees a hug. A little rock side to side. We are going to be leaning back again. Play around with our floating reverse tabletop, which will start as a tabletop. So if you don't want to lift your hips, you don't have to, but a little lift of the chest. Feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart, and then maybe the hips will lift too a little bit or a lot. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades a little bit. Look up above you. Breathe. Feel free to take a break at any time. If you're feeling good here though, you might start to extend one leg. Maybe you will extend the other, try to push the balls of the foot down. Let the toes try to find the ground. A reverse plank. If you sent one leg out, you could switch sides, or if you did both, you can start to make your way back in. Squeeze your glutes. Another inhale, and then an exhale to release. Bring your hips down, lean forwards. Take the weight out of the hands. Hug your knees. Let go of whatever just happened. You can stay here. You could find your butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide, lengthening through the spine. You might add a tip forwards. Letting your shoulders fall from your ears. You're folding forwards. Lift on up. Bring your knees back together. Maybe a little squeeze. And then you can lean back. Boat pose. What boat pose variation are we going to try today? Leaning back a little bit. Lengthening through the spine. Do what you want to do, what feels right for you. Maybe the feet stay down. Maybe you lift and lower. Maybe you give your knees a nice squeeze together. Last week we did our floating butterfly. This week we are going to try our bear pose, or it's kind of like floating happy baby. But if you do want to play around with that, the knees will be out wide. We'll be reaching for the feet and then also trying to open the knees out wide too. So kind of hugging the knees towards the armpits a little bit. Think happy baby, bear pose. Maybe feel like a bear right now. Balancing on your sit bones. Sometimes it works out and sometimes we end up laying on our backs. But if you want to find your way to bringing your knees back together, maybe without touching the ground, give them a squeeze and then bring the feet down. Lean forwards, give your knees a hug or a squeeze. Awesome work, you guys. We'll be extending our right leg out long. The left foot can find the inner thigh. Take an inhale to lengthen through your spine. You can fold forwards from here. You can stay here. Maybe you're going to lift back up. Maybe you feel like floating today. Bend your right knee. Just slide your left leg under a little bit more. Maybe think boat pose with that right leg. Maybe hold the leg, start to float the foot a little. Lengthen the spine a little. Maybe your foot continues to lift. Maybe you can walk your hands a little closer towards the foot. Maybe this is your forward fold in a floating way. You might be feeling a nice stretch through that right leg still. So whether you've got your leg floating or you're folding forwards, you can start to find your way back so that we can just switch sides. Left leg out long, right foot to the inner thigh. And inhale, reset, lengthen your spine again. Maybe enjoy a tip forwards, relax. Maybe you are going to stay here. Maybe you're going to lift up again and bend that left leg and then just scooch your right leg under a little bit so you feel centered, balanced before anything takes flight. You can hold your legs, sit nice and tall. See if your foot wants to float. It might be feeling very heavy today, not to worry. Do whatever your body needs. Perhaps the leg can lengthen. Maybe you hold your calf, your foot, your big toe. Awesome work, you guys. Whether you're folding or floating, start to find your way back to having feet on the ground, legs together. Maybe a hug or rock side to side. Awesome, you guys. All right, we're going to send our legs out wide. We'll find our wide straddle. But maybe pointing the toes up and adding a gentle sway of the shoulders. Feeling the inner thighs, the inner legs. And then we're gonna add a side stretch today if you'd like to do so. Maybe your left hand comes to the ground in front of your knee. Maybe it is your forearm and your elbow. But just lift your chest, see if you can look up. Reach your right arm up above you. Try to reach and lengthen up straight first, and then maybe over towards your foot. And then you can use an inhale to lift again. Come back to center. Reset. Maybe be still. Maybe add a little sway of the shoulders. Point the toes up. Maybe your sway or your chest tips forwards a little bit more. And then if you want the side stretch, right hand in front of the leg or the forearm, reaching up first. Straight up. Look up. Try to keep the chest open. Maybe adding the side stretch from here, reaching towards the foot. Breathe. And then use an inhale to find your way back up. Center, reset. Maybe one last rock of the shoulders or tip forward. And if you are folding, let an inhale bring you back up. Bring your legs together again. One last squeeze of the knees. And then we can lay down. So find your way onto your back when you're ready to do so. Maybe your knees end up at your chest or your feet are on the ground. Maybe a gentle sway of the knees side to side. If your feet want to start to float a little higher, lengthen your legs more. You can take a moment here, trying to press your low back into the ground. Then you can stay as you are a little longer, or maybe you want to find happy baby. Knees out wide, reaching for your feet or your big toes. If your legs are still lifted up into the air, you can start to bring them back together, your feet to the ground as well. If you want your twist, your short, sweet twist, let your knees fall over towards the left side first. Using an inhale to bring your legs back up, and they can go to the other side when you're ready. And then letting an inhale. Bring your legs up again. Maybe your knees will end up at your chest one more time, or a gentle rock or sway of the knees side to side. And then eventually finding your Shavasana. Just like that, we are 3 weeks in. I'm so proud of you guys. Amazing job. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nothing brings me more joy than doing this with you guys. So enjoy whatever comes your way. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Namaste.